Today I've got a couple things things to talk about, but it's kind of a unique time that we every once in a while do question and answers as well, where we get to we might even bring you on and live if you choose to or want to, or if you just want to put in the chat some questions. A lot of clients appreciate this, and even future clients of ours appreciate the question and answer. It's kind of a nice way to kind of get introduced to the subject of self-directing, but also understanding some kind of ins and outs of maybe some ways to potentially pay less in taxes. And I say pay less. When I talk about taxes a little bit, um, I'm not a CPA. I'm going to share with you based upon some of my own personal experience and also experience from a lot of our clients, what people are doing, how they're avoiding and or deferring taxes. And I'll probably say that a few times throughout this. I'm not going to talk about evading. That's not going to be in this message or any of my messages. But I will be talking about a little bit of that. And so, and today, really, after the first probably about 10 minutes or so, or 15 minutes, it's going to be open to questions and answers. And so if there's something that you want to address or you have questions or whatever the case is, we'll tackle as many as we can. Any of those that we can't, we'll get back to you personally via an email or phone call. I'll also say that because I'm not a CPA or an attorney, I'm going to give you the best information based upon what I've seen. Now, I have been doing this for 23 years. I'm blessed to have seen a lot of different things, literally tens of thousands of transactions. And so I've almost seen everything, I feel like. Every time I say that, I see something new of how somebody's going to use the retirement funds to invest. And so I want to give a quick snapshot, real quick, of what self-directing is. There's our disclosure. I think I've already said it. I'm not going to give any kind of specific advice. But what we do at Horizon Trust Company in general is we focus on teaching and really giving you the code. We're giving you the playbook of how to get access to your retirement funds in a way that you like and understand, and also a way that the IRS approves it. So you can invest in assets, typically alternative assets that you understand. And for me, it's been real estate. Since I was 22 years old, I've been investing in real estate, both inside my IRA and also outside of my IRA. And I would say 75% of our clients have been using their retirement funds to invest in some kind of real estate, be it maybe an LLC that they set up with their IRA that they invest in some kind of real estate transaction or somebody's fund, or they lend to somebody. But self-directing, what our company does is we teach people how to do it the right way. We literally will give you the code and show you how it works, the blueprint of how to kind of get through the process in a seamless way and stick around for you. We've been around for 14 years, and we've taught thousands and thousands of people how to use the retirement account the way that they want. And so some of these things that you might also hear today, learn about, it might be new for some of you, regardless of your age. I've learned that very few people, when I say few people, sure, it's millions, but there's only a small percentage, less than 5% of Americans do what we're talking about today. And that's not because it's a scary thing. It's more because it's a lack of knowledge and a lack of information. And at Horizon Trust Company, our team is very experienced to teach you about self-directing and gaining access, unlocking your retirement account to use it how you want, for the most part. Now, there's a few exceptions that we'll talk about, but what we're talking about here today has been around since the 70s. This is not something new. This is not something that I created. This is something that's been around for a very long time. And that being said, kind of to get started, I wanted to share with you something that I saw this last week, in particular in the news, and probably there's good reason for it with all the politics. And this is not going to be a politician show to go. And so please, if you want to go with questions and answers on that, I'm probably not going to answer any of that on what side you're on and how this works. But we all know, obviously, the politics, literally the politics of our country, create laws that allow us to do different things and use different codes to our advantage, or potentially, if we don't use them, to our disadvantage. And one thing that's come up in the news this last week that I forgot about, frankly, was some of the tax laws that are going to be changing January 1st of 2026. And I reread it because it's been a minute, but some of the laws that were put in place in our tax code that changed from 2017 to 2018, and that will go until 2026. So for about 8 years, when Trump was in, as well as other bodies of the government, they approved some tax changes that decreased the tax brackets. That's right, decreased from 2017 to 18. Almost all tax brackets federally came down, anywhere from 2 to 7 or 8 or 9%. Coming 2026, unless something changes, and maybe that will happen, who knows, right? Between now and then, it's only 18 months, and government doesn't work very fast. But in 2026, these tax laws are and brackets and percentages are changing back. What does that mean? And I think this is kind of a good intro to today's conversation. Is it means that everyone's going to be paying more federal taxes starting in January of the year 2026. So wherever you're at right now, it's going to go up anywhere from 2 to 9% in federal taxes in 2026. Because everything's changing. Now, I think what's most interesting as I read this of what's happening, and maybe some of you are more familiar than me, I'm not going to say I'm a genius at all these tax bracket rules because I'm not a CPA, but I think what's interesting is there's one tax bracket, one group of individuals that is going up the biggest amount, which is 9%, going from 24 to 33% increase. And I'm going to actually put in the chat here. Do you think it's the lower class, middle class, or the higher class that are going up 9%? And if you don't mind, you're listening here in the chat, tell me what you think. I'm going to stop for a second. Do you think it's the lower, the middle, or the higher class that's going up 9%? I guess it was not a hard question because you all aced it. That's right. The middle class is going to go up 9% from 24 to 33% 2026. Now, look, I'm not here to necessarily tell you exactly what certain things you can do in preparation for that, but there are some things that you can do in preparation in general, and that you should be meeting with your tax strategist and or CPA to talk about what you might need to be doing in preparation for those increases. There's different things or loans that you can potentially make or get, or different tax credits. But I share this with you because it applies to our world, our self-directed world as well, because a lot of you and many of you have wanted to convert over part of your retirement funds to a Roth IRA. And when converting to a Roth, you have to pay taxes on that conversion amount based upon what tax bracket you're in. So I think this is a good time. This is 18 months in advance, rather than talking about this, in 2025, fourth quarter, which is probably when there's going to be a lot more talk about this, unless some things change, about these increases. And so I wanted to share this with you because it's something that's, one of the main reasons why people, excuse me, self-direct and decide to work with us at Horizon Trust Company is they're looking to, and you're looking to invest your retirement funds or other monies in different types of investments to avoid or defer paying taxes. And a lot of times you listeners and here that are present have these different types of traditional or SEP or simple retirement accounts or 401ks, and you might be waiting to convert them to a Roth for different tax reasons that your CPA and you might have been talking about. I bring this subject up because I think it's something that you should be aware of. I just did a podcast on it actually this morning. I talked about it for about 30, 45 minutes on my Generational Gains podcast. But I think it's real, and it's the right time to talk about your retirement account and potentially looking for tax credits this year and next year in which you can roll over a portion of or some of those retirement funds into a Roth account now while your tax levels are less than what they will be in the future. And so, anyways, I just thought I'd bring that up because it's near and dear to our heart for a lot of our clients because many of you or many of you that have not are not currently working with us might want to be investing using retirement funds in different real estate transactions, which is what I do. I love lending and partnering with other individuals with my retirement funds. And so the quicker that I was able to convert my funds to a Roth and offset those gains through that conversion through tax write-offs, the better. And so anyways, I don't want to get too complicated. I'm not a tax guy. I don't want to get too deep into CPA stuff. I get, as many of you, I think there's probably about half of you that know me in my company. I get more excited about the investment vehicles, how people are what strategies they might be using today to find success. So anyway, so I think maybe most of you knew this. It sounds like you at least knew the answer about middle class. It's not the high class or the lower class. It's the middle class that will taking on the brunt of a larger increase than others. But look, what's unique about this and in this subject for me is it's 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 an opportunity to teach people how to use a code or a rule that the IRS has created to our advantage. And I remember my son asking me today, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's almost like a improper or immoral is the word he used. The taxes are potentially immoral." And I was like, "Well, I don't know about that, son. I don't know if I agree with you on that." But I do think it's probably wrong of us to just assume that we should pay the taxes just the way they are without understanding the code and or finding the loopholes, the legal loopholes that will give you tax advantages, tax credits, and deferring of profits and interest. And so let's just talk about that for 1 second. And before we get into these questions and answers, the reason why this is so applicable today and the reason why it's near and dear to my heart is we talk about expenses. Look, right now we all have expenses. I mean, let's list some of our biggest expenses: a mortgage, a car, insurance. What else, Claudia? What other expenses? Utilities. I know you've got shopping expenses,
Groceries.
Claudia, grocery expenses. The list goes on and on, all these expenses. And I think most people think when they think of their expenses, the biggest thing that there is typically your mortgage and or your property taxes. Thank you for chiming in there. But taxes is our number one biggest expense. We will spend between 22 and 40% of every dollar in taxes. And so why not try to understand the code the best we can and take advantage of how to leverage our retirement accounts in a way to invest in things that we can avoid or defer paying taxes? And let me just give you an example. If you could just uh, understand or work proactively with your CPA and your tax professionals to to pay maybe 30% rather than 33%, or 39 rather than 39% down to 30% in taxes, that's a potentially $5,000 to $10,000 a year if you make $100,000 a year. And if you make $200,000 a year, we're talking about $20,000 to $40,000 in tax savings by understanding and being proactive about these rules in the tax code. And I just bring that up because a lot of people want to focus on saving money, but they do it in a different way. They try to earn more money so they can save it. But instead, if you can be a little bit more strategic about it and able to save $10,000 a year and then put that $10,000 away into something like we talk about, a self-directed IRA, into a retirement account, and let that same $10,000 every single year that you save in taxes compound at 8 to 10% over 10, 20 years, we're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And so it's the ripple effect. Every decision that you make in your life financially, even taxes, the thing that's the most probably annoying thing to talk about, uh, frankly, is going to give you the most upside opportunity. And so if you're able to be proactive about your taxes and save 5 or 10% in your federal income taxes because you're being proactive about it. And you do that every single year, and you put it in a vehicle, a self-directed IRA vehicle, and invest in something that you know and like and understand. That's 8 to 10%. This compounding effect is huge. And I think this just gets lost in translation, because I think a lot of people, when they hear my message and we talk about self-directing, and many people don't even have a retirement account, they don't know where to start, and they think that $5,000 is not enough. They're wrong. And I know that's most likely not you, because if you're here today, we're here in this room, in this virtual room, and there's other people there that are not paying attention, that are on their couches watching a TV show or a sitcom. They don't care as much. We care. We're listening here today, and we're taking action and listening and trying to get more knowledge. And so I hope that today that as we answer some of these questions, answers, and some of the commonly asked things that come to Claudia, I'm going to ask her in a second some of the things that come to her frequently into our office, to answer those things, so you can kind of hear what people are saying and what people are learning with the retirement accounts. But I wanted to give you kind of a little bit of foundational work, excuse me, foundational information about taxes, only because I've just been reading so much about it lately. And so it's in the news, it's in the politics of whatever side you're on. And so whatever you can be doing, don't let that be you or someone you know that says, I'm going to start doing this when X happens, when I pay off debt. Make your contributions, because guess what? If you have debt today, you're going to have debt tomorrow. If you pay off your debt today, there's a 95% chance you'll have new debt next year or next month. What I can assure you of, if you start saving today, a year from now, compounding that, it is a game changer, especially when you start looking 5, 10, or 15 years, that compound. So anyways, for those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are new, also, our goal is to give you the blueprint, to schedule you an appointment, help you to get through this tax code of understanding what's applicable to you, what type of retirement account is good for you to have success and avoid or defer paying taxes. That's our goal, is getting you to pay less taxes when investing in things that you like and understand. And at Horizon Trust Company, we're very good at that, helping you process, you get your account set up and process your investments. And so again, if you're listening, I will say here towards the end, we are going to have a gift as well for those that are listening. There'll be a gift. We're going to raffle off a gift. So it's definitely worth sticking here towards the end for another 25 minutes to hear, excuse me, a winner for a gift they want to give out. But number two, I think most importantly, I think some of these questions that you hopefully will have, and others have given us that we answer, can help you understand this subject a little bit better. So that being said, please, sorry, please definitely put in the chat any questions you might have about self-directing. No question's a bad question. We'll try to answer as many as we can. But before we kind of go to chat, and again, please definitely put in some questions here for us. I was going to have Claudia give us, maybe share. First, I should introduce Claudia. Sorry, I went this long and didn't introduce you. I take you for granted because I see you every day and talk to you every day. But Claudia has been with me for a very long time, very professional. When I say a long time, she was actually with a friendly company of ours. So I've known her for I don't know, maybe 10 years now. And are you there? There you are. And
Yeah.
and she's been with me for now a couple years, and we've really focused on teaching people how to use the retirement accounts, and she oversees all new business. If you're new to our company, there's most likely you've either spoken to her or someone on her team. And so so Claudia, in fact, one other thing I'll say about Claudia is she's literally helped tens of thousands of people open up LLCs prior to our company. So she's very engaged and understands the business world. She's helped a lot of entrepreneurs set up their 401ks and retirement accounts. And so most likely, if you're new to this subject, you're definitely going to want to talk to Claudia. And so Claudia, before you tell me, because I'd like you to share with us some of the frequently asked questions people ask when starting with us. But before we do that, I would love if Alex can put a link on there, and he's going to do this throughout in the chat, a link for those of you that are new and that want to learn about how to get access of a trust company. or an access to a trust company like ours to unlock your retirement account and use it for investing in real estate or precious metals or Bitcoin, etc. He's going to put up the link to set up an appointment. And so Claudia, do you want to start? Give me some of the most commonly asked questions that you get now that you've been with our company now for a few years.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the most common questions that we have is, what is a self-directed IRA? A lot of the people that are joining us, and I've seen this about three people are asking that. So we really want to go ahead and go over what a self-directed IRA is. It's basically an IRA like any other one, but it would be for alternative investing. So what we do as a custodian is we transfer IRAs from other custodians, or you can start a new one if you want to make a contribution from scratch, and you could use it for any kind of alternative investments. So our clients use it for precious metals, they use it for real estate investing. They could use it for the stock market if they wanted to, but that's what a self-directed IRA is. What other investments can you think of, or am I missing, Greg?
Well, I'm going to add to that too, and just to make it unique and different. Like typically, I would say 99% of our clients that have come over to us have traditionally done what their parents and or grandparents have done, which is they open up a brokerage account with a typical brokerage account, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, all these big powerhouse brokerages that are legitimate great companies. These companies give you a list of options of what you can invest in. What's unique about us at Horizon Trust Company and any self-directed IRA company is we don't give you a list of what you can invest in. We're not going to say you can only choose from these different mutual funds and indexes and stocks. That's not what we do. Our job at Horizon Trust is to get your funds from wherever they're at, all or a portion thereof. So if you want to self-direct and just kind of tippy toe into the water and move $50,000 or half of your account from Charles Schwab over to us at Horizon Trust, and then invest in different alternative assets like Bitcoin and businesses and real estate, you're able to do that. Now, if you have a 401k, I saw someone ask that question, and if it's with a current employer right now where you work right now, you cannot, they do not allow you to move those funds over to a self-directed retirement account. But if you have an old 401k from a previous employer, which many people have these, whatever, they got 20, 30, $100,000 out there dangling in some old 401k, though from a previous employer, doesn't matter what your age, those do apply. You can move those over from wherever they're at to a self-directed IRA company like ours at Horizon Trust. And then you can get basically unlock it, meaning you get access to directing those funds to different types of investments. You make those decisions, we don't. That's the biggest difference. At Charles Schwab and these other brokerages, you have advisors that are going to advise you on different things that you can invest in, and they get, their fees on whatever they advise to you, and that's not how we work.
Absolutely. Somebody is asking, how is this better than an LIRP? I've never heard of an LIRP. Do you know what that is?
LIRP. What does that stand for? Tell me what that
LIRP.
stands for. Let's go back
Lauren,
to
if
that
you want to go
question.
ahead, yeah. Lauren is asking, can I make an LLC if I don't really own a business? And how is that different from an LIRP? Maybe that's something different. If you want to
So,
expand on that
so,
question, we can definitely
so,
go
so
over
look,
it.
you don't need to create an LLC if you don't have a business. An LLC is meant for, it's a company. You're creating a company. It could be a side business. Oh, a life insurance retirement plan. Yeah, I'm familiar. It's different. Well, let me go back to that question. Life insurance and retirement plan and answer this. You can you can move your retirement account, all or a portion thereof, into a self-directed account. For example, if you have a SEP or simple or traditional account, you can move that to a self-directed simple SEP, Roth, traditional account. The same rules apply. The rules are not different with the IRS. The only thing that's different is what you can invest in. Now, if you wanted to create an LLC, typically you create an LLC because you're starting a business. It could be a side hustle, side business, doesn't have to be your main thing that you do. But we have a lot of people that will set up an LLC for their business, and or an LLC for their retirement account to invest in certain investments. So that LLC could be owned by your retirement account, and that LLC could invest specifically into different deals. Let's say that I have a deal, a real estate transaction. Your IRA could invest in your LLC that you own, and that LLC, when I say you own, your IRA owns that LLC. That LLC then could lend or partner with me. And then when that deal pays off, I would pay your money back to your LLC plus those profits and interest. So when it comes to a life insurance trust, a retirement plan, they are a bit different as far as what some of the rules are and what you can invest in and contribution limits, etc. So I am not as savvy at that, so I'm not going to try to attempt to go too far on those life insurance retirement plans. But from what I understand, there's more there's more limitations on what you can invest in. So let's go on to the next question.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott is asking, am I able to use money from my solo K account to lend as a PML? So private money lending. It's a great question.
Yes, you can. You can use your retirement funds to lend out as a private money loan to somebody else. And so the important part of that, and we help you with this, is once you know who you're going to lend to, we want to make sure the documentation's correct. Again, that's why it's important that you use a trust company like ours, because once you know who you're going to lend it to, we want to make sure that the documentation's titled correctly. So if I'm lending to Claudia with my IRA would be the lender. It'd be Horizon Trust Company, FBO, Greg Herlean is lending to Claudia, and we would make the terms, let's say at 10% or 12%. And so then she would pay my IRA, not me, my IRA, a 12% annual return. And so it's really about vesting and documentation, making sure it's right, or else you could have some tax liabilities if you don't do the accurate titling of those assets.
Somebody is asking, how long does it typically take for the transfer to happen?
So, well, Claudia answered this better than me. She oversees this division as well. So, do you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the time of your consultation, we would go over the application process. Somebody would walk you through all of the application questions. It's basically all of your contact information, a picture of your ID. We'll open the account within 24 hours. And then from there, we would set you up with an appointment with one of our liquidation specialists. And what that liquidation specialist is going to do during their appointment with you is set up or call your resigning custodian, and then we would ask what the paperwork is needed to go ahead and accept the funds over at Horizon Trust, because it's from qualified account to qualified account. So then we would go ahead and start the process there. It typically takes on the fast end 3 to 4 days, on the slower end, because some of the custodians do like to hold on to the funds. 2 weeks would be the maximum. If there are special circumstances where it's a smaller custodian somewhere, we have had those kind of situations. It might take a little longer, but it all depends on the custodian. We do have a follow-up process. Every 2 days, we're going to be calling that custodian and making sure that they have everything that they need, that they know that the transfer is happening, and we would go ahead and move that along. As soon as the funds are here, we do have a holding period about 24 hours if it's a wire. If it's anything, if it's a check, then we're going to have a holding period of 3 days, because that's just banking regulations. And then we'll go ahead and have the investment ready. Now we would have if you already have an investment in mind, we will do everything at the same time. So when you're doing the liquidations process, we would also have your appointment with your investment specialist that can go ahead and go over what the supporting documents are for the investment, what we need on our side, and then we would go ahead and have that ready so that when you have the funds here, we can go ahead and make the investment right away. So it is
Yeah,
a
perfect. And then I'll add to that real quick, Claudia. This is one of the main reasons I started the trust company 14 years ago. Is most trust companies were slow, and speed is valuable. The quicker we can get the money transferred over, the quicker you can earn interest in a new asset class. And so, we are one of the quickest in the industry, if not the quickest. And so, getting it over is very important to us. Get your account funded so you can get access to it.
absolutely. Let's look at Kevin's big question. Can my Horizon Trust self-directed Roth IRA purchase and hold a Roth annuity and receive the income inside the Roth IRA?
Yes, it can. That's not a problem. So yeah, you can buy an annuity with your Horizon Trust Company Roth account. Yep.
Typically, I've seen this do it in the Checkbook Control LLC. Um, I I've never seen it inside just the Roth, but I'm sure we would ask the processing department what supporting documentation we would need for that. I have somebody asking, I have a 403B through a com or company I no longer work for. I am looking for a job, but they want my money in my 403B to do the most. How do I go? I think there's a little bit of a disconnect with the question. This is for Ms. Halu. If you want to reword your question on the questions chat, I'll definitely ask him because
Well, look, I'm just gonna, for those of you, I didn't mention 403Bs or 457s. All of these accounts qualify to move over to a self-directed a traditional account, so long as if you're no longer with them, employed by them. And so that's for 401ks, 403Bs, 457s, plans with kind of teachers, firefighters, government kind of employees,
TSPs.
TSPs, those type of accounts, you can no longer be there, and then you can roll them over. Anyone that's listening to this that has a traditional simple SEP, Roth, HSA, any of those kind of accounts, you can move over regardless of if you're working wherever you're working, and if you still have a 401k, you can move those over to a self-directed IRA account. And so, as I say again, and I'll put here, and Alex has put in there, for those of you that want, basically, look, for those of you that go on and into our link and schedule an appointment, I'm going to send you out an ebook. Now, some people look at this ebook as like a value of $15. I look at this ebook as value of like $2 million. The reason why is because we're going to teach you about the importance of compounded interest, avoiding, the pitfalls that people and mistakes that people make. So schedule an appointment, put your information in there. We're going to give you a free ebook as well. So I just want to make sure I put that in there, because a lot of times at the end I forget. And so schedule an appointment if you want to learn more and get this ebook as well. And for those of you that don't have a self-directed IRA account, it's worth a 30-minute phone call with our team, kind of answering your questions. But anyway, let's go back to the questions that you got here. I know there's a lot coming in there.
Yes. So somebody asked, you mentioned the Checkbook LLC. What is that?
Yeah. So the checkbook LLC is basically the most flexible way of using your retirement account. And what does that mean? So let's just take a step back. If you have a retirement account right now, let's say Fidelity, and you want to self-direct it, invest in Claudia's deal, you would first have to move that money or a portion of that money from Fidelity to Horizon Trust Company. Once it comes to Horizon Trust Company, you then direct Horizon Trust and say, please send my money to Claudia. And then we would do that. And then you would have an agreement between Claudia and your IRA. And so those interest and profits would go back into retirement account. Well, the problem with that potentially is, let's say that I'm investing with Claudia, and Claudia is doing a rental property. And she's bought it. She wants to partner with you on a rental property. And there's ongoing expenses, property taxes, I don't know, management fees, utilities, etc. When you're investing in an asset that has multiple transactions happening, like a rental property, a checkbook LLC is a flexible way to actually having a checkbook for your IRA. So it just adds one extra step. And don't let this discourage you or confuse you, because we help you through this whole process. If you're listening to this and want a checkbook LLC, our team can get you set up, no problem. But all we're adding is from Fidelity, it's sent, your money sent to Horizon Trust Company. When it comes to Horizon, then goes into a brand new LLC that is owned by your IRA. So Horizon would then send the money to this brand new LLC. This LLC then would have a checking account, just like any LLC could have a checking account. And from there, this LLC could write a check to invest with Claudia. Also, if Claudia were then to say, hey, look, a capital call, we have different expenses, etc., she then could tell me, and then the LLC could send a wire, write a check. Which, with the reason why the one reason I don't love checkbook LLCs is that the only reason is because if you don't have good bookkeeping and have someone overseeing that account, you could make mistakes, meaning you could start paying some personal bills out of it, or you could pay yourself a management fee or commission. You cannot do that. Okay. You definitely cannot do that. You've got to purely use that checkbook LLC for investment purposes. Any cost associated to the investment as well. So a checkbook LLC is a great way, a phenomenal way to have control of your self-directed account to invest. And so don't worry, actually. In fact, Alex, you're probably getting all these ebook requests. I like it. This is great. We're going to give it to you.
And we're
And
getting
for
some
those you,
privately. So yeah, there's a lot of people that are
and
wanting
so
that.
so anyways, hopefully that answers your checkbook LLC question. Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah. So Steve Billick, I want to see if he wants to come on and ask his question because he has a lot of percentages going on. It seems like it's a more extensive question. So I would like to see if I can put him on. Let's
Steve, do you want to join in on live here with us? You don't have to. You're welcome to though. It's always
yeah,
fun to
let's
go.
he said yes. So let's
All
go
right.
ahead and see here. There he goes.
All
Alex is
right.
quick.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Yes.
great.
Welcome, Steve.
Oh. Hi, thank you guys. So I know it's a bit complicated. I already had my initial Zoom with you guys also. So I do private money lending plus the fix and flips. But my first big question is with the private money lending. If I charge a 3 and 12, 3% origination plus 12% APR to all the guys or people taking their loans.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I pay investors 10% APR. So does that mean I, as the lendee, get to keep that extra 2% APR plus the 3% origination fee? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So am I allowed to do that if I pay my checkbook LLC the 10% APR that investors get, and then me as the lendee, I keep that extra 2% APR plus the origination fee?
Who is the lender your IRA? Is it your checkbook? Is it your checkbook LLC that's the lender?
Yes, some of the times it would be yes.
And and uh and the owner of the checkbook LLC would be your IRA, if I understood
Yep.
correctly. So you're right. Yeah. So you can make a spread. When I say you, let me be careful about this. Your checkbook LLC can make a spread that is and it's owned by your IRA, but you cannot participate in that spread personally. If the investment is made from your checkbook LLC in which your checkbook LLC is owned by your IRA, that LLC, all of its profits, spreads, points, etc., has to stay inside of that basically checkbook LLC that goes back to your retirement account. So you can't personally, that's not like a loophole as far as where you can have certain percentage go to your IRA and then you keep a spread for yourself. You cannot do that. Now,
So,
well, let me just share this.
yep.
I might not answer your question, but let me just go one step further on this thought. If you have a business partner, your business partner can make a spread and or your checkbook LLC can pay your business partner on a spread or a commission or a fee, but you cannot pay yourself from your checkbook LLC any spreads or commissions if your retirement account has invested in it. Now, I don't know if I answered your question, but I wanted to stop there for those that were listening to that.
But the first Zoom call I had with you guys,
Mm-hmm.
I was actually told the 3% origination I would get to keep, and then the extra 2% on the spread I would get to keep. So I just wanted to confirm that because when I was on my phone call initially, I think they were kind of it's not a normal question, I don't think.
Yeah,
When you're
well,
saying you, are you saying your IRA or are you saying you personally?
Me personally, so the lending business would get to keep that 3% origination that the loan makes, plus the extra 2% spread, because investors are paid 10%. So my IRA would be making the 10% APR nonstop, but then the business technically makes that extra 3 and 2.
Yeah, I'd like to, just to be sure, just because I don't want to confuse people and go too deep particular on this, follow up back with Steve here tomorrow on this, on his, and look at his, or maybe just do a call with him in particular. Uh, but that being the case, if your IRA is investing in something, uh, you personally, unless I'm missing something in this equation, which I'll check on after this call, Claudia's got your information. You personally cannot also receive distributions or any kind of commission or a spread if it's your money that did all of the lending. Now, if it's somebody else's money that did some of the lending, that's a different, it's a different example. But if you don't mind, Steve, I'd love to look at your file and then have us call you tomorrow just to confirm, because I don't want to go too deep into this because I know it's very particular to your case. But if that's okay, let me follow up with you tomorrow on that.
I'd appreciate it, because this is actually the question determining how quickly I'm able to actually quit my job to do this, because I'm already doing it, and this allows me to speed things up.
Yeah, let's look at it and get back to you tomorrow. And then also,
Okay.
if the better we understand that too, because there's a couple other variables in there. This could be a good applicable thing, Claudia, for a Rob kind of account for him. So I don't want to go too deep into that either, but we'll come back to that. So Steve, so thanks for coming on and hopping on. I appreciate it. So good question. Yeah, maybe you stumped me, but I also just feel like I need a little bit more information. I don't want to go too deep in that. So we'll get back to you tomorrow for sure. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's keep going
Yeah.
on with, let's go on to some more questions here.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott is asking, what if your business partner is your girlfriend?
That's fine. There's no rules against girlfriend, boyfriend. The rules are you can't, if it's a spouse, doesn't work. If it's children or parents or grandparents or grandchildren, does not work. You cannot lend, partner, or give compensation, but a girlfriend counts. But don't not marry her now because it qualifies. The funny joke is I've got friends who are like, okay, well, cool, this transaction works. She can get paid, a spread or some fees and commissions and on my retirement account investment, and now we're not going to get married. I don't advise that.
He said, laughing out loud. I think that was his angle. Thanks, Scott. I have, he said, sounds good to me. I have Jordy that's asking, do you need to have the operating agreement for the LLC updated every time you do a different investment? When I started the solo K, it was to hold rental property, but now I'm lending with that LLC. So I'm wondering if the operating agreement needs to reflect that. I can answer this one if you'd like.
Sure.
Yeah. So the operating agreement is basically going to state that the member of the LLC is the IRA. So it's going to be member is Horizon Trust FBO, Claudia Guzman's IRA, and that you are the manager. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to change it with every type of investment that you have. The investments that you have in the LLC are not going to be reflected in the operating agreement. The reason why we have to have a specialized operating agreement that Horizon Trust can go ahead and help you with is because it has to have special clauses from the IRS that basically say the LLC is for an IRA business or an IRA transaction kind of LLC or entity. So we would put everything that's prohibited, any prohibited people that you can't transact with, but it's not investment specific. When we rolled over my retirement funds to set up my solo K with Horizon Trust, some of the money was tax deferred and some was already taxed. Is it separated into one bank account in two parts? I have a second solo K account that is all tax deferred. Can you advise me on how to clean this up so all tax deferred monies are together? So, do you want to answer that?
Yeah. I mean, this is probably a good one for a consultation with our team as well to understand the dollar amounts that you're talking about. But the quick answer is yes. Excuse me. The quick answer is you can move. There is a way, most likely, to convert over your your one account that's not not Roth like. It sounds like it's more traditional in its taxing, to move it into a Roth type account. We can decide and figure out and get them all in deferred accounts for you, all the same kind of account inside of your 401k and a solo K. We can help you with that. We can advise you on that, and you can go back to wherever you're at, whatever you'd like. But yeah, let's schedule an appointment. I just need to know the dollar amounts, what's in each one, and then we can give you some recommendations. Then you can go back to your CPA and just get confirmation, because I want them to sign off on it, to make sure, it doesn't put you in a different tax bracket if you convert too much into your deferred bucket. There could be reasons why you have two accounts. Sometimes it makes sense to have one. I mean, it makes sense to have two, I should say, I'm sorry, because it's not the right time to convert and potentially move you up into a new tax bracket. So yeah.
Perfect. There's a lot in the chat. Let me find a question. I want to move money from my 403b to elsewhere to invest. What do I need to do? What you would do is you would set up an appointment with us. So it looks like you're not working in that company anymore. So if you want to go ahead and set an appointment up with Alex's link, we'll be able to go ahead and let you know what your options are on that. Kevin, one of my accounts used to be 59.5, is now 62.5. It seems to be a moving target. I'm not really sure if that was a
As far as
question.
the age goes, 59.5 is when you can start taking distributions out of your account without any penalties. But you still have to pay taxes if it's a traditional type of account or simple or SEP. The rules have changed more of when you have to. It's called a RMD. The RMD's required minimum distributions have been moved back. Someone here probably knows better than me. I feel like it just was moved again to 73, maybe. It used to be 70.5, and it's kind of, people are living
Gone up.
longer, life expectancies are gone longer, and so now I think the required minimum distribution is closer to 73 years old now. So yeah.
I have somebody asking, can you use funds for a traditional mortgage, or will this only work with cash investments? That's a great question.
You can't use your retirement account for a traditional mortgage for yourself.
For yourself.
You could provide a traditional type of mortgage, a 30-year loan with your IRA as an investment to somebody else. But you cannot use it for your own home unless you're over 59.5, and then it's a little bit more complicated. The quick answer is no. The long answer is if you're over 59.5, there's ways of doing that. But
You could
I'd
use a
stick with no.
non-recourse lender, right?
Now you can borrow money, if that was the question, if I misunderstood. If you're going to buy an asset, let's say that you want to buy and hold a rental property, and let's say it's $200,000, and let's say that your IRA only has 100,000. Your IRA can be the owner, buys the rental property, puts down $100,000, and we have multiple non-recourse lenders, banks, that love to lend to the IRA, the other $100,000. And so that is definitely something you can do. And the important part of this is you cannot, maybe this was the original question, if I missed it, sorry, is you cannot use a traditional loan in that example, go get $100,000 traditional loan that I personally signed for if my IRA is the owner. The IRA cannot guarantee it, nor can I personally sign on the loan. It has to be the IRA, and it has to be a non-recourse loan on that asset.
All right, so I think we can go ahead and do one or two more questions, and then you want to do the giveaway?
Yeah, then let's do the giveaway. So let's do one or two more questions.
Yeah.
And again, if we missed a question, schedule an appointment, email me. My email is Greg Herlean at horizontrust.com. Feel free to ask questions, schedule an appointment, set up a checkbook LLC, etc. I realize we didn't go deep into the PowerPoint format to go deep into self-directed. Feel free to do a quick call with us. Again, in this appointment, there is no hard sell. We pick and choose who we want to work with, and vice versa. We want to make sure it's a fit. This is a relationship business that works very well together. So let's do one or two more questions, and then give the gift away.
Absolutely. I have Jess that is asking, are there any incentives for us to refer contacts to Horizon Trust? That's a great question because we actually have a promotion for referrals.
Go
So
ahead,
we
Claudia.
Yeah, we're running a promotion for referrals. Most of our business is referral based because we are a boutique company. So most of the people that we get are from customer referrals. We're running a promotion for the month of July that's ending, and then we're going to extend it to the month of August for $200 for every account that you send over that actually transfers their funds to Horizon Trust. It's usually $100 anyways, so we're just doubling it for the summer months so that you guys can go ahead and send any people that you know, any of the people that are going to invest with you anyways. And when you're asking those questions, if you can ask them if they have IRA funds, then that would be somebody that we would want to go ahead and talk to, and then we can go ahead and transfer them as soon as possible, and then they can invest in your deal. So it's a great question. What are, can I, it looks like those are the questions. So let's go ahead and give the giveaway. Do you want to go? Oh, I just got one. Oh, my brother referred me, but I called directly in based on my, can he still get credit? Yes, Fern. Go ahead and send it over to Alex, or send it over to the host and panelist, and we'll go ahead and look into that for you. Yeah, that's great. We would definitely like to reward your brother for sending them to you. And hopefully we have your money over here and you're invested already. So we did everything as quickly as possible.
All right, Claudia, go ahead. So what's the, go ahead. I
Yes,
think put the link out there. Julie's asking for a link again. So put the link in there,
we
Alex,
have the
and
link that we can
Claudia.
use others. Oh yeah, for sure. Alex can go ahead and do that. So the way we're going to do it is we want some excitement to happen. So what emoji would we like for them to use so that they can show excitement? Let's do the fire one since it's so hot here in Vegas. So, oh, Kevin said hearts. I like the hearts too. Which one
Fire
do you
or
want to use?
hearts? Either emoji you'd like to yeah get.
Either
All right,
emoji.
hearts and fire. There you go. All
Oh,
right.
there you go. A heart with a fire. That one's great.
Uh,
Let's go ahead and show, and Alex is going to go ahead and pick somebody from the participants that we have, and we're going to go ahead and give. Do you want to go ahead and explain what our giveaway is,
no,
Greg?
I'm gonna let you do it. I like it. You're doing great.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and give away a checkbook LLC. This has a promotional price of $1,500. That's the value of the checkbook LLC. Look at all those emojis. And we're going to go ahead and pick somebody in our chat so that we can go ahead and give it to you. So we're going to have a consultation with you, go over what the IRA is or 401k, depending on what your requirements are, and then we'll go ahead and get you with a checkbook LLC and have you start self-directing. All right, give Alex about 30 seconds. And Julie has been asking for it. So let me go ahead and ask him who is the lucky. He actually has like a wheel and everything. Like it's like this whole system that he has in the background. Alex is our marketing specialist. So give some love to Alex because he does a great job with these webinars and he is awesome. And he says that the winner is Kevin Casto. So Kevin, are you there? I love all these emojis. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say, oh, there's Kevin.
There he is. All right, Kevin, congratulations. I think he commented a few times in there. It's probably helped him get in there. Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Kevin. We'll get you a checkbook LLC. And I'm surprised Scott didn't get it. I saw a lot of Scott in there. He had a lot of chat in there. But Kevin, congratulations. We'll get you a checkbook LLC. And look, a lot of good webinars coming up here this next month in August as well. So one that I'm looking forward to in particular, August 20th. I'm going to have my son on with me who he's got some interesting, he's 22 years old. And he's had some pretty big success for a 22-year-old, more than I had at 22. And so I'm going to have him on as well. Got a couple other things happening in August. So looking forward to it. So definitely come in on, we're doing it every other Tuesday. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Follow me on Instagram as well, Greg Herlean, and put out videos and different information on kind of what's happening. Appreciate all the feedback today and questions. And hopefully those that need an appointment and want to learn more have scheduled that. So thanks for spending your time here on this Tuesday afternoon. Have a great rest of your evening.
Have a great week. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. There's lots more great content for you to learn and enjoy and apply to. And so anyways, click on the link below and listen to more videos or set an appointment with us. We look forward to hearing from you and also helping you.